very smoky in the Smoky Mountains today. She wanted the 1875 breakfast camp again. So that's where we're at again.
You go back and get them.
So after a great breakfast at 1875 Breakfast Camp and seeing a really cool brand new Corvette from Kentucky, probably Bowling Green where they make them, we returned to the Camp LeConte, that's where we were staying, luxury outdoor resort. Emily requires us to stay in places with luxury in the title, so we did. It was our 25th anniversary trip. This was day 7, so Dino sprung for the luxury. I won't always do that. We're riding on the Newfound Gap Parkway. We're going to Cherokee, North Carolina, and we're gonna hike. We're gonna see Mingo Falls, and we're gonna hike Andrews Bald on the way home at Clingman's Dome. The Newfound Gap Overlook. We're gonna look out over the overlook.
That is so cute.
That's where we're going. So about halfway between Gatlinburg and Cherokee, where we were headed that day, you stop at the Newfound Gap. It's on the Newfound Gap Parkway. And there's several trailheads right here. We're going to be on the Appalachian Trail tomorrow. There's a lot of trails that kind of connect and run through here. It's the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. We've driven this road several times. I actually didn't know it was a scenic parkway. I just thought it was the road that we drove on. That's about the halfway point. It's about 30 minutes from Gatlinburg, right there at the Newfound Gap. And then we had another 30-minute drive to Mingo Falls, which was where we were heading, which was near Cherokee. And we stopped into Cherokee for just a moment. Half a mile. Mingo Falls, here we are. We're going up these steps. That's a very short, steep hike.
Yeah.
You start off going up a ton of steps, but it's very short. I think it's just right here. So it's only like half a mile round trip. And once you get to the top of the steps, it's pretty flat. But the steps is the issue. There's no warm up.
No.
Just hit it. Do your stretches before. We did drive into Cherokee. We did not stay. We're going to the Mountain Farm Museum. And then we're going to have a picnic. We might just have a picnic right there on that little bench. Or right there sitting in that tree. Or right here on this bench. Or right here on this log. Let's go see the area first. You want to?
Sure.
So we're at the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. I don't know how you say it.
It's not bad.
People tubing by. So we stopped here for a picnic lunch. We did not intend to stop at this place, but we did. We also did not intend to stop at Mingus Mill, which we kind of saw as a sign on the way to Mingo Falls. But we wound up stopping at both places. And the guy at Mingo Malls, right here where we're talking to him, said that normally they have the mill open, but because of COVID it was not, and they usually are making meal. So we must go down into there, and then the turbine's underneath it. guess they don't need that much.
They shut it off if they needed to.
The one at yesterday had fish in it. It's a very short little hike. Cross the river, hang a right.
Oh my goodness.
And then we started our drive back to the Andrews Bald hike, which is at Klingman's Dome. And there were a couple of spots that we decided to pull off and look, and they were scenic vistas that were beautiful. Where we going?
Andrew's Bald.
Andrew, wow. She knows
And
now.
it's not a crater, it's not a rock, it's the one that has the grass meadow on the top of it.
Yeah, whoa.
There you go.
She's got it.
I got it.
So you start at Klingman's Dome. Can't see nothing. It's very cloudy up here. Look at the clouds kind of rolling up over the mountains. 1.8. This one looks like it's going to be a tough one to get back on.
I was just saying that.
It's windy. I'll take it. There's a lot of trails going on here. Klingman's Dome bypass, Andrews Bald, Forney Creek. We'll go this way. It's about 3 in the afternoon, and there's so much cloud cover that it almost is dark in here.
This is probably one of the second prettiest hikes we've been on.
I mean, there's just
Like
all this
trail
mossy
wise.
covered boulders.
So pretty. It's like Mount Oconaluftee.
Don't you think this is like bear
Yes.
bear
But
country?
we can't say that because we've already seen our bears.
So like I said, I don't know. That part of the woods was just kind of spooky. It kind of freaked me out. I, for some reason, thought bears were going to attack us. And we'd been hiking in the woods for 7 days at this point, and I'd not felt that irrational fear up to this point. But for some reason, those woods right there, the Smoky Mountains, made them seem very haunted. We hiked out in the open with a bunch of bees. Now we're back into the woods. So this hike, All Trails has it at about 3.5 miles with almost 1,000 feet of elevation gain. And it's really, you're hiking down and then back up. So you hike down to the Bald and then you come back up. Now, and the weather was kind of funky. You know, it's about 10 degrees cooler up on the mountain at Klingman's Dome than it is around in surrounding areas of the park. So if it's a really hot day, this is a good hike to take. And the view is absolutely spectacular. There's no like destination where you get to like a big waterfall or anything, but you get to this panoramic view, which is just amazing. 0.7, 1.1 back.
What is that symbol?
I don't know. Maybe shelter. Shelter 68. Personally, I'd look for shelter 69. Oh! The weather has changed 3 times since we've been on the hike. It was cloudy when we started. It's been sunny a few times, and now it's cloudy again. And I'm starting to see light ahead of us. We should be getting close. Andrews Bald. Scenic view, 500 feet. Now, earlier in the video, I said that the panoramic view was spectacular. Now, as we're hiking into this, I had really no clue what we were walking up to. And literally, when I got there, the first word out of my mouth was, wow. And that really was the experience. It is. You come out of the woods and you walk out onto this little grassy part of the mountain. And it's one of the only ones in the Great Smoky Mountains. It's Andrews Bald. And it's just an amazing view. Wow.
Not too bad.
That's got to be the most panoramic view of the entire Great Smoky Mountains right there.
What is that water?
No clue.
I can't see because my glasses have raindrops all over them.
Raindrops are falling on our head. Emily likes walking on this wood plank. She might be a pirate. Walk the plank. Arr, walk the plank, you wench. We just saw a man and he wanted to know, is it worth it? And we told him yes. And I told him it was the best view in the entire park, and I believe that. I'd like to do a sunrise up here. Hike up here in the dark, Mom? What do you think? I knew she wouldn't go for that. We've hit the uphill section. All uphill from here. Usually the uphills leads to the climactic part of the trail. What? Not this one. You get all the goods and then you have to work for it at the end. We'll be all right. When you're coming back up after you go through B Alley in the sun, it was sunny both times we went through there, and it was cloudy on both sides of it. So weird. But then we're back in Rocky Woods going up, but it is much cooler. This trail is rated moderate, and it seems a little more than moderate. It's pretty hilly, but not undoable. It's also pretty crazy is all these, it's like a boulder path, and it goes literally all the way up. It's a lot of work just to build it. Pretty crazy. What a fun hike. You know, down and back up. It's short enough that it's not too terrible. It's moderately hard, but you see so many different kind of areas. It's just a fun hike. Highly recommended. I feel like this one, you need to save the high five for the end.
Yeah.
Usually it's the halfway point. So we did a couple of hikes today. Shorter hikes. Other days we had been there, we had done some longer hikes. Today we actually did more driving probably, and we covered more ground in the vehicle. And this was one of the last afternoons, and we just kind of took it in as we drove home. It was, the clouds kind of broke and we had some sunshine on the drive home, and just went along the Newfound Gap Parkway and enjoyed the sights of the Great Smoky Mountains. That's it. Newfound Gap Parkway. We've seen it. Check it. Well, our first campfire experience. That's about as cooked as the wood got. I had small kindling. I did not have medium sized, and it did not work. And everything around here is wet. And we're at this freaking luxury RV resort. There ain't no trash around anywhere. It's all too nice. If we were at that KOA that we passed today, there'd have been down limbs all over the place. So fire was an epic fail. I'm only half a man, a quarter of a man.